Have you ever wondered why I do TQA Weekly? I'm going to explain that to you. But first, my name is Steve Smith. This is TQA Weekly, and this week marks the 400th episode of TQA Weekly, which I started 8 years ago, and I'll be talking about some of the reasons why this show even exists. But for those who didn't already know that, and probably explains why I can do so much of this show, I used to be a computer technician that went from home to home. I would even go as far as installing sound systems and TVs and helping people purchase electronics in a more responsible fashion, which means that they would get a much better experience. I'm even a programmer. So it happens that on multiple occasions, I would have to deal with situations that could have been avoided by asking questions. So I'm going to give you 3 cases that actually happened to me. You'll understand why this show existed and why it continues to exist to this day. Remember, all of these simply could have been solved with more questions. Case A. A client of mine had an issue with a graphics card. The performance, not too interesting for him. His current system had access to PCI and AGP graphics, so this is a while ago. He, combined with me, went to a future shop, and the sales representative was notified that we were looking for a graphics card for his computer system. The graphics card that was suggested by the sales representative is a PCI graphics card, which at that time would have been inferior to the AGP graphics available to the gentleman that was seeking a brand new, better graphics card. The problem, the sales representative did not ask anything about the graphics card already in the system, didn't ask anything about the wattage of the power supply, which by the way is very important, or the motherboard or computer specifications itself. Therefore, whatever this guy was trying to sell, he had no idea if it was going to actually work inside of the computer system or do what the client wanted. We did not buy the graphics card, and we went somewhere else to buy a better graphics card. In these cases, I would suggest that you don't go to the big box stores, but you actually go to boutique stores who will ask you more questions if they are responsible. And if ever they don't ask any questions about your computer system, just leave. Case B, a client wanted to access his computer from the living room. The computer is in the bedroom. The perfect solution for this would have been wireless display. However, WD, or wireless display, is not available in this case. So he goes to the computer store, and the computer store, again, doesn't ask all the right questions, and he's offered a VGA cable with a VGA extension, which is passive, meaning that the signal would be degraded by the time it got to his living room, considering the distance, also because of the length of the cable and the extension given. Here are the issues. Had the sales rep of that computer store asked any question, they would have known that he was trying to watch movies, listen to music, and do some stuff on the internet while using a wireless keyboard and mouse. Because VGA is a more analog and cable and it doesn't support pass-through for audio, it doesn't do anything of which the client was actually looking for. Therefore, we had to go back and hassle for a refund and get him the correct cable, which is HDMI, which, by the way, does have audio pass-through and also works on the TV itself. And the length is less important for the HDMI than VGA would be. Needless to say that in his case, more questions being asked by the sales representative would have probably solved his problem in the first place. And case C, the user manual is king. This is about an older gentleman and his wife in their home. The older gentleman likes to stay up late. He has a little bit hard of hearing, so he tends to watch things really loud. He bought a sound system, which I had to install, and he also bought a wireless headset. The problem, he does not want to plug in the headset every single time he wants to use it. The issue is, Madam doesn't want the sound system blaring all night either, which would be solved by plugging in the headset the way the entire sound system is supposed to work. The thing is that in his case, had he even bothered reading the user manual before, he would have known that the sound system does not do what he wants, and neither do many sound systems at all. The exception being that if he had used a computer instead of an amplifier, he would have gotten what he wanted by simply telling the computer what to do. Yet, the cost of getting an amplifier and a computer is quite a bit. Replacing the amplifier with a computer requires getting a sound system compatible with computers, much like mine, and that would lower the cost overall for the speakers, but it would still come out to about the same thing. All he had to do was read user manuals on the internet. He simply went to a computer store or an audio store, bought anything, and of course was annoyed by the fact that he had to physically get up and do something, which of course in his case he should be already used to, since that's exactly how most technology works anyway. Your cell phone does not continue to play audio on its speakers if you plug your headphones in, and we all know this. And if you turn on your Bluetooth, the same thing happens anyway. So what do these situations have in common? Not enough information was provided or requested during the purchasing process, so not enough questions asked. The more questions that are asked, the more answers can be given, and therefore the better the experience and also the more accurate the product that is suggested to said client. So in every single case, they could have gotten a better idea of what they're supposed to get. So, case A never bought the product in the first place, so that, of course, from the original seller. Case B got it refunded and given the correct product. And of course, case C has to live with plugging in his headset regardless, because anyway, solving his dilemma would cost way too much anyway. And because of this, I ended up doing this show. This is how TQA Weekly came in. And by the way, TQA stands for Technology Questions Answered. Season 9 starts on August 19th, and I'll have more Linux, Raspberry Pi, more news, and definitely more technology questions answered. If you want to consider helping out this show, making it better, and even availing more funds for me to buy other smaller gadgets that you're more interested in seeing on this show, all you have to do is become part of my Patreon at patreon.com/TQA Weekly, and patrons also benefit from getting this episode and other episodes 2 days before everyone else, and of course we have a Discord for all of you. Like this episode if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, share with those that you think can benefit from this, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for topics, email me at ask@tqaweekly.com or go to my website, tqaweekly.com, for everything else. And if you want to make this show better, go to patreon.com/tqaweekly and become a patron today. Patrons get these episodes 2 days in advance of everyone else. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.